1 minute to take.
Hey, what parsha is it anyway?
Chukat.
Oh, Chukat. Chukat. Okay. Shalom. This week's parsha, Chukat, we are taught about the laws of the red heifer. That's right. The terminology that the Torah uses is Chukat Torah. These are the laws of the Torah. The reason why is because these are part of the commandments, which there doesn't really seem to be any logical reason behind them. It's hard to understand that the Kohen who takes the ashes of the red heifer, he has to be ritually pure. He sprinkles it on the person who is tameh, who is unclean. The person who gets sprinkled on is now pure, but the person who sprinkled the water is now unclean. It's hard to figure out. There's no logic behind the systematic ways of how this law works. The Torah comes to teach us about these and other laws, that there is sometimes a case where we don't understand the reasoning behind the commandment which is given to us. There are some commandments which are easy to understand. For instance, giving charity. We're good people. We want to help out other people, so you want to give charity. You want to help other people. Or, for example, honoring your parents. That's right. Honoring your parents is not just once a year on Mother's Day or Father's Day, like some of you have been doing. Honoring the parents is a commandment every single day, 24/7. That's something that's nice. It's something that you could understand. But that's not what the Torah is about. The Torah is about giving us commandments. So when there is a commandment, whether we understand the reasoning behind it or not, it is still a commandment given to us by God. And we are obligated to do it. So when something comes upon us, which we cannot understand the logic behind it, we should say, well, what could I do? I don't understand it, but I have to do it anyway because our Father in heaven had commanded us to do it. For instance, take the law of not eating bacon and eggs in the morning. Who doesn't like that? But God tells us it's forbidden. A person should look at it and say, wow, bacon and eggs, or that cheeseburger, the Big Mac. I wish I could have one, but what could I do? God commanded me otherwise, and I have to overcome my urge and do what God wants from us. And so we find a good example by Shaul, the first king of Israel. He was commanded to wipe out the nation of Amalek, an evil people. And God had spoken to him and said, go and forth and fight against Amalek and wipe them out. The men, women, children, cattle, destroy them all. Leave nothing behind. Now Shaul was a big tzaddik. He was very righteous. But he was also a Democrat, liberal. And so he started to argue with God, saying, I could understand the men. Maybe they sinned. It's time of war. Okay, we should go out and fight them. But what about the women? What did they do? And if you say that the women are also guilty, well, what about the children? You should know that little Amaleki children, 3-4-year-olds, they're cute. How is it possible to go and kill them? And what about the cattle? A voice came out from heaven and said, don't be overly righteous. Al tia tzaddik habe. Don't be more righteous than your Creator. If God tells you to do this, if this is what's right and proper, then go out and do it. Don't have your own views when it comes to commandments, even though this is not an easy thing. It wasn't easy for Shaul to go out to battle and to wipe out Amalek. Unfortunately, Shaul failed the test. That's right. Shaul failed the test, and he did not wipe out the nation of Amalek, and the Jews suffered for that throughout the generations, whether it was with Haman in Purim or with Adolf Hitler in Germany. They're all descendants of Amalek, all gathering against the Jewish people from time to time. All because the goodwill, the mercy, but that's the mercy of fools. That's the lesson to be learned in our Parsha, my dear friends. Chukat, this is a law, whether it's the red heifer, whether it's giving charity, whether it's honoring your parents, whether it's killing Amalek. Across the board, it all comes from God. Whether we understand it or not, we accept upon ourselves Ol Malchut Shamayim, the yoke of heaven. This is what God wants from us. Whether it's an easy commandment, something that we understand, or something that we don't understand, something that's hard, but still something that must be done. We must overcome our moral codes and bring it up to what God wants from us. That's the point over here. I'm Levi Chazan, coming to you somewhere in the Middle East. It's a secret. I can't let you know. Special forces. I'll see you next time.